Testing. Testing. Alright. Alright, well,
Nothing to report, sir.
let's get started. Just planting the flag.
Same old.
Oh, hey. The flag ain't around here.
Please move along.
Of course.
Guess we gotta go this way. Well, hello there. Okay. Clearly, I need strategy in this battle. Why can't I move? Okay, Sarah. Okay, clearly, since no one wants to follow me, I'm gonna drag them along out to here. Congratulations, I'm making it. Since everyone wanted to be stuck. Clearly, we need to update our armor soon. Come here so I can gut you. Wait a second, what if I... Make sure that there's a campsite around here. Ah, death. Well, clearly our gear isn't ready for this place. And Cole's doing amazing because he's here, stuck. Good job, Cole. You survived and saved us via not being able to do your job. Blatantly not ready for that area. So let's come back over here. This place to go talk to anyway. Among those things. Go to the camp, grab a different team for this area.
to report, sir.
I'm gonna bring Vivian in case she has something to add. Sorry, Cole, I'm bringing you into a group that hates you. I love you, Cole, but the rest of them hate you for reasons beyond me. Apparently you're evil, even though all you've done is help, not betray us. Last words from Corporal Matchett. I did not survive the terrible conflict. I wish my property be distributed among my family thusly. To my dearest mother, the last slavery drawn from my service to His Grace the Grand Duke. To my brother Victor, my arms and armor, long may you defend our family. To my elder sister, Margaret, my love and everlasting in the pinewood crest. Sorry, chest. To my younger sister, bless the pinewood chest and my apologies. May the Maker take me into his hand.
Poor unfortunate soul.
Was that you saying it's a tragedy, or are you just being sarcastic, Vivian? Because I genuinely cannot tell if you're just being like, poor unfortunate soul should have survived. Or if you're being like, oh, this is a tragedy. Genuinely, as far as I know, you might. As far as I know, you might well just be being a stuck-up tool who thinks lesser of everyone else. Which, amazingly, wouldn't surprise me. Because you are, again, the worst. You are the worst of us. Now people will say, oh, this is the best of us. You are the polar opposite. In every way, you are the worst of us.
Tired of waiting around. Tired of waiting around.
We tried not waiting around.
I hate waiting to die.
So I keep having to pause because of the fact that that I'm using keeps freezing on me, and it's not very beneficial for me.
Supplies, monsieur.
Thank you for the empty box. Welcome, War Machine, our glorious president. How does the day fare you? Blah blah. My God. Dead. Ah, and that. Enchanter Vivian. And Cole and you, in fact. Congratulations, Vivian. You're yet again useless. I'm sorry to hear that this thing is so terrible. It's always a tragedy.
Aim for the eye. Aim for the eye. Aim for the eye. Blast him out. Stand your ground. Aim for the eye.
This thing will fall like any beast.
Stand your ground. You can't hurt me. Don't let up.
The arcane horrors rags. Finally, I'm looking for rags.
A victory at last.
Congratulations, Gaspard. You look their grades of meat. We need to eat the same grading system as we do on meat. Like the same grading system we use on meat. No subtlety there in the fact that we are products to be used and taxed. Am I right? Nah, you're not wrong. In general, it's the same case for every single country, though.
You heard? Evelyn took off last night. Said she was joining the Freemen. Did you hear? Maybe.
The world's a mess.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that everything is getting pretty darn ugly. Heck, to an extent, if you want to talk about it, a lot of the older generation has basically made an unsustainable economy in pretty much every region, has nearly collapsed every industry that isn't a cog in a machine industry, has begun making the downfall. Half of them are rooting for the end times at this point. The other half are looking to squeeze anything they can out and are talking about how bad it is. And whenever people say, hey, well, you guys could do something, they'll say something like, well, your generation should do something. this generation is so bad.
World's
It's not the fault of the generation who has had the power and actually institutionalized pretty much all the problems. Oh God, no. It's your fault, my fault, everyone else's fault.
I can't believe this.
the world's a mess.
That was a brilliant show, Inquisitor. My men had barely been keeping the Horde at bay. Bastien Prou, Marshal of the Grand Duke's forces here in the Dales.
I mean, then they get all angry whenever they see their system isn't being respected. Oh, this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Amazing thing that you guys have always made clear. Respect ain't given freely. But you expect it to be given freely because what? You are the idiots who've been in charge and made what many consider to be the most crumbling planet we've seen in a long while. What's basically a corpse, and hand it to the next generation saying, fix it. Just because you're old doesn't mean you deserve respect, let alone love. Love is born out of respect. I respect you. I love you. Step one in most things is finding a level of respect. If I can't find respect for someone, then I could never love them. That's why I choose to laugh. Go insane and laugh. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, you'll be seen as an outcast. Oh, of what? This hellish land on every part of the world? And let's not act like this is just a problem in the U.S. China's a nightmare land. Japan's got its own problems. The UK's crumbling. Korea, let's not even begin there. North and South. God awful place. A bunch of the places in the Middle East, terrible. Russia, oh God. Ukraine, well, might as well be death sentence. I haven't heard anything from Norway and Sweden and stuff yet. Also, they're super intense on who gets in, and they have to be super valuable. And they're actually trying to recover from a bad hand that they were dealt. End of the situation is the fact that it ain't a good look for anything. But it's the hint. But it might as well be fun time. I mean, I've seen worse. Read worse. Oh, national shootings are super high in Norway and Sweden. Great. So, quite literally, the world is on fire and collapsing. Society is crumbling around us, and meanwhile,
Why have you barricaded
why don't you
yourself?
want to do what I've
Had to
done?
retreat from the Western Front. The demons and undead were too much. But it's no better here. My patrols don't return, messages are lost. I've had no word from the capital in weeks. If we could regain our outposts, the ramparts, or even the
Exactly, that's why I laugh, my friend.
we can't just keep
I
hiding.
went to the realm of chaos because of the
Like
fact
a
the
soldier,
world,
not cowering under a bed, praying the monsters don't get.
everything's on fire. Everything's gone mad. And so I shrugged. Can I fix it? No. Can I find a way to laugh and have fun? Hell yes, I can. There is no ending where people really win. Not in the current pathway. There is recovery. But the old regime must die. Across the board. People will say, oh, it's bad in the US. It's bad everywhere, my friend. It's not just a problem of the system of how we do financially, that as many people like to say it, or what we do government. Life doesn't have to be a zero-sum game, but eventually, you don't beat the board when the board is death. But you can leave a legacy and impact. Problem is that currently, too many of the people who we keep putting in charge don't get the fact that a legacy doesn't have to be looking out for numero uno. I put up a long chair long ago and I decided I'm going to sip a pina colada and laugh. You want the truth, my friend? If you want to get cynical and bad about the world, then it's just doomed. But if you want to talk about it as if it's a game, clear the board. Either wait out the current player to die off, which they're pretty close to, or clear the board. Force the board to be clear, however you have to. The system ain't good, but there ain't a system that has zero faults, now is there? No game that has zero glitches. No board game that doesn't have an optimal strategy. And if there is, it's a game of genuine random chance. Where you can't even slightly hedge your bets to one odd and say it because the fact that's the better odds. Which I think is why it's fun. It's a mad landscape of insanity. Exactly. Do what you love. Have fun with it. If you leave an impact, great. I don't get why everyone nowadays acts like the goal is to live long. Live long and prosper. Let me prosper and I'll worry about living long later. You know who people talk about? Evel Knievel. All the daredevils and stuff that people were like, wow, look at them go. You don't remember about Steely Dan, the daredevil who jumped a pool, a little kiddie pool, in his backyard one day. No one remembers Steely Dan because Steely Dan didn't really do anything impressive. The same thing, you remember a lot of daredevils. You hear, like, different people remember different daredevils, different, like, showmanship type things. Because the end thing is the fact that, well, everyone acts like you should just keep your head down and play it safe. Playing it safe has never once won the board game. It might get second place. Maybe. You normally end up in the middle of the pack. If you just want to be middle of the road, great. I want to charge ahead, and if I stumble and get last place, or if I surge ahead and manage to get first, or even just a good spot, hooray. The realm of chaos is where I went, because of the fact that clearly reality wasn't doing it. And some people say, we're all mad down here. Yeah, live like you'll die tomorrow. I always am saying that every day I wake up, the world has yet again failed to kill me. I've nearly died God knows how many times. I'm sure there are myriad of stories that no one will ever know I nearly died. Because the fact that it was when I was young and didn't have a memory, or I got bonked on the head real hard and I didn't remember it, but I just walked out of it. Or like I was super close to death and I just was unaware. Like I walked away from an area, like a minute later, where I was like looking at a cool item that I was still interested in. A mountain lion pounced on that spot. I don't know. There are 1,000 moments where I could have died. Oh, live to be 100. No. Live to have a legacy? Maybe. But I don't remember a single name that has been remembered in history who played it safe in life. Except for the incredibly unlucky people. Yeah, you don't need to be part of the chaos. Set up near it. Ride its coattails, because in fact that is equally a fine pathway. I don't think that how I live would be functional for most people. I don't think my philosophy functions for most people. No philosophy does. I mean, I don't hear people talking about relativism and feudalism like, oh yeah, I want to live by that. In fact, I'm going to do something silly. I'm going to play with an iPad for the next hour. I've just cut my visibility in half. I can't read for squat.
I've cleared out the dead from the western ramparts.
You did? Make us breath. There's hope for us, if the ramparts have been reclaimed. I'd alert our forces stationed outside the Dales, but the chaos makes it difficult for missives to get through. Demons. Those blasted freemen, or whatever they call themselves.
Find the fun, find out how you can function, get a good kick out of it, and you won't be going hungry anytime soon. The Freemen of the Dales.
I've heard something of the Freemen of the Dales. What do you know about them?
They're a mob of traitors, too soft for war. Thought it was a skirmish or two's and back for supper. Turns out it wasn't, and off they run to the first person to tell them their tantrums are acceptable. Now they want independence, to establish a new settlement. Ridiculous.
I shall take my leave.
Be well. The Freemen were helping raise the dead. Did they even know what they were doing?
The one rule about how I think things rule War Machine is the fact that you're not allowed to just give up. If you're willing to keep going and keep fighting for the next day and keep finding your next day, then let's say, okay, my books. Just don't hurt anyone. And we can all find our place one way or another. Let me lean to try to read this. Did you know that Revis, the elven god for freedom, Revesen is the place where freedom dwells? One wonders why it wasn't given a more appropriate name after the reclamation of the Dales. Perhaps the adage remains true. Once one gets used to a name, it's hard to change. The walls in this place are ancient. I hope it holds. Exactly. Giving up will never help you unless you have reached the game.
Seen any of our fallen men out there? Have many of you fallen?
sea is all that's left. We were 1,000 strong once. The worst part is not knowing what happened to the men who don't come back. Deserters? Or dead? If they're dead, we've nothing to tell their families. Nothing to send home.
Good luck to you.
But I don't. But if we're gonna talk philosophy as well, I've long ago made up my mind that nothing really fit for me. Most people will say that if nothing fits for you philosophically and stuff, that you just need to find something that you can accept the most.
I hate waiting to die.
I decided to make my own philosophy.
The demons are coming closer.
It started from this. And chaos is everywhere.
Nugs are kind.
But
Almost everything is bigger than
wait.
they, but they're still happy. If you hold out your hand, they will nuzzle it. It's how they call you friend.
Remember, Inquisitor, the harmless-looking ones are always the most dangerous.
Nugs aren't dangerous.
I was not referring to nugs.
Vivian, you suck so bad. Anyway, I was saying, I long ago said that I realized that chaos is everywhere. Chaos ain't going anywhere. And I asked myself, why does chaos exist? What do people commonly refer to chaos as? So, why does chaos exist? Why does it normally happen? And it is commonly pointed out whenever something unpredictable happens. Oh, it was chaotic. I never saw that coming. Doesn't follow form. Doesn't fit. So to say. I'll acknowledge that. Chaos rarely fits the form. Because the fact that it isn't a thing of fitting in. Chaos. State of the universe. Entropies. I don't think that it's just a chaos natural state. Chaos occurs because order isn't absolute, but also, to me, for chaos to exist in a species that pursues order, tells me that there's more to us. There's free will. Free will produces more chaos. And because the fact that you could have order in the universe, you could have everything in order if you removed emotion and free will and thought. If you made everything mechanical and function on ones and zeros, then everything will function just fine. And the second a single entity diverts from the path, it's eliminated. And order continues. There is nothing but order in that pathway. Chaos, if there's nothing but chaos, it'll change forever. Nothing will stay the same. And once nothing stays the same, destruction. I think that chaos is indeed guaranteed because of the fact that we live in a society of sentience. All life forms have a level of sentience. They have levels of unpredictability. Everything has a level of unpredictability. And if you can't control things, which you'll never be able to control everything, then why complain about it? It's fun. It's unpredictable. It's wild. No one likes sitting at the same desk job for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I've known people at jobs I've worked that have never once left that job. I've been on the same pay scale as them, having just gotten there. And they are the most bitter, cynical, moody people in the universe. Because they can't function in a world of chaos. And they don't like that things can't go their way. They want to just be able to keep their head down and not do change. But I think that, me personally, I find that there is a path and joy to be found in riding that wave. That tidal wave of chaos that will pursue you and me and consume us. The world was insane to me and sucked so hard. I can't stop the world from burning either. But I can have fun in the fire. I don't need to be cozy. That's the old saying of life is for the living. I say that life is insanity, and that if you really are on an insane ride, then there's no better options than to have a laugh. I mean, I could have been broken long ago. Not found chaos. Decided that life sucked and just become a cog in a machine. Would be pretty easy, I'd say. I could shrug my shoulders and throw in the towel tomorrow. But it doesn't sound like something I'm interested in. I think if you really want to get down to it, there ain't a solution. That's why philosophy will always be different. 1,000 philosophies, 1,000 faces, 1,000 words. But I think that there is purpose to be found in the chaos. There is fun to be found in the chaos. It's hard to hear, it's hard to understand, it's hard to work with. It's hard to do anything with the chaos. But to find it, decide what that purpose is that you're going to take from it, that's doable. It's going to be a pain in the ass once you find it. Well, I'm having a rather wondrous time. But to just snuggle up next to the fire of chaos also sounds like it can be fun. If you're gonna have to, if the world's gonna be on fire, to snuggle up and get warm, get comfortable, it's a fine pathway. There aren't many ways to play the game that are 100% wrong. People can tell you all you want, all they want, that your way is wrong. It doesn't work. That's not how the game works. Because they don't want things to change. Entropy, in my eyes, is worse when it's the moment where things stop changing. Where people give up. I think, personally, that if you really want to get changed, that fire doesn't have to be a bad thing. Light a fire under the ass of those around you. Under the world's ass. And watch as it fires up to get moving and changing real goddamn fast. It's all a matter of time. Do you want to wait, or do you want to attack it? That's the question. There's never a 100% universal applicable solution, so why not try? The goal is perfection means you'll never reach it. Always be able to get better. Yeah, if you can not get bogged down, and if you can like always be looking for a different pathway, then the pursuit of perfection is a way to live. You're after what you can never reach, and if you just live for the chase, then it'll be a wondrous life. I don't like the chase. I don't like the just get up and try again thing. Not if it ain't fun. But the second I realized that everything could be a game, and in turn, to an extent, fun. It was real eye-opening. Been a blast and a half. I love it. I love it so damn much. I think it's because it's so dangerous. It could collapse and betray me in a second, in a heartbeat. God, it's terrifying. I couldn't ask for a more entertaining system. But enough about this. Doom and gloom and you kind of rambling in an insane way. There's a story to be told. Typically, the three sisters react in a similar manner upon entering the Bella Marque Cheris, the adventurous one, intrigued by all the sights and sound of the market and most and the most heedless of any danger. Yeah, Vivian has never once been useful. I think Barrick, who I barely use, has been useful. Iron Bull's been useful, even though he gets folded in a big fight, even though he loves those. Cassandra can hold her own in a fight, even though she equally can get folded. Cole has actually been the surprise sleeper hit. The one who Vivian hates. Blackwall has held his own in a fight. Sarah, while she may not be grand, mainly because of the fact that she seems to draw aggro like nobody's business. She does her job. But Vivian just attacks people. She's, as people would say, a stone cold bitch. Heck, that line, the demons are coming closer. I wouldn't be surprised if I exited this and it's just Vivian saying that the demon is getting closer. Oh, I mean Cole. I'm gonna wear the iPad because the fact that no matter how blind I artificially make myself, it's not gonna be as blind as Vivian. The fact that she's not useful. She does magic. Congratulations. The monstrous elf you see Solus as, who doesn't overcharge her front barrier, his barrier's frontal part. How dare he not know how to do it your way? Or Dorian, the Tevinter, how dare he? If you're wondering what I mean by how dare he, I mean, how dare he be, get this, from Tevinter. Truly a monster of unacceptable levels. You could have. Hell, I could be a mage, and in which case I don't. Yeah, you can shit on Vivian all you want. I've heard people have made essays explaining why she does the way she does. Even after hearing why, even the short thing, I'm like, so what you're telling me is she was born with the silver spoon in her mouth. She experienced a bad system working for her, and she's like, why doesn't everyone not do it my way? She's basically quite literally the joke of of a fictional character, Captain Rich, being like, I don't understand the poors. Why don't they have their butlers fetch them more food? Why are they so helpless? She is powerful because she's a magic user and a noble woman in a place where the noble people are 9 times out of 10 either mediocre warriors or just normal humans. Not even a dwarf or anything. She talks hot shit because she's never been hit. She gets folded faster than anyone else. Even Sarah, who has barely any armor, hardly any durability, at least makes himself useful in other ways, including being hot, and the love interest of my character. Typically, the three sisters react similar manner upon entering Belle March. Cherise is the adventurous one, intrigued by all the sights and sounds, marked and most heedless of any dangers. Marie is the brash one, the most suspicious of everything she sees, and the one who makes withering, sarcastic comments, even if she allows her sisters to drag her along. Valerie, meanwhile, is always the innocent one. She is depicted as wide-eyed and startled, like a doe lost in the wilderness. Yet, by the end of the tale, she is also the one who bursts out of her shell the most. A common initial stop for the girls, for instance, is the White Rose, an infamous establishment in the Belle Marches, serving tea and cakes to noble patrons by day, and at night transforming into a house of ill repute filled with male and female prostitutes in elegant dresses. The girls go there because the building is fashionable, some place they can escape from the market's crowd. Inside, Marie is the first to realize that the friendly gentlemen are not what they seem. Valerie is scandalized but it's Cherise who runs off to dance with these men despite her sister's protest. This will lead to a chase through the White Rose. Marie and Buriel stumbling into a room after room where they are confronted with various patrons. Empress Celine herself is frequently mentioned. Marie scathingly berates these patrons, while Buriel is intrigued despite herself and eventually drawn off when Marie isn't looking. Marie throws her hands up in disgust and joins the dwarf in smoking an illicit substance from a wild contraption. It's at this point in the tale where the girl's desperate chaperone, La Bête, appears in the White Rose and things truly get interesting. Details vary, but by the end of this part of the tale, the White Rose is inflamed. La Bête has pummeled her way through a legion of clueless patrons. Three sisters are let out the back door by a charming elf, completely unaware anything is amiss behind them. To my knowledge, however, the White Rose has never burned to the ground in its entire existence. Maintains a legion of guards that make sure such antics implausible. Even so, the tale is stubbornly believed to be true even in Val Royale itself. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's kind of funny. The idea of three sisters wandering into a place that's by day the most beautiful place of all. By night, welcome to the club, hon. What you having? And it's just
Waiting to die.
none of them are aware of what they've walked into.
I hate waiting to die.
Sir, don't jump. Keep watching this crumbled remains. Oh, cool, a creature.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Vivienne, do you wanna, I don't know, waste the house potion? Sure thing. Oh, great. I mean, could you imagine something like that happening in real life? It'd be hilarious.
Stays quiet for a while.
Hope it stays quiet for a while as demons are approaching. If we hadn't done anything, it's just like I hope things stay quiet for a while. They see the demon reaches them. You had to say something, Gaspard, didn't you? Now we're gonna be incinerated by horrible demons. Damn you, Gaspard. Oh, please. There's no place in the world that is bad as Detroit. Let's be honest with ourselves, War Machine. There's no place like that in Detroit because it's been stolen already. I mean, the fools think that, like, having a building with cement and stuff being secured to the ground is enough to prevent it from being stolen. The chaos takes full root. There are a handful of places that will be destroyed. One such place is France.
I'm sure we could get someone to open this passage, if that's what you wanted, dear.
No, Vivian, I just wanted to mark a caved-in site because I thought it was really interesting and historically relevant. Oh, where you mean anything where the staircase is stolen? You mean where Ed's parents ground him by putting him in the basement and stealing the stairs? Yes, I remember that. I'm talking more like when SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs stole an entire hotel room and stuffed it into 2 suitcases. I don't think it was even the staircase wasn't even stolen. It was just removed by the owners of the home. No, it was a fake health inspector.
Dead!
I should have Dorian here. Alright, mythology professor made you watch SpongeBob? Okay, I need to now hear why. Oh, she just heard you never watched it as a kid and decided you must watch SpongeBob? W professor, she was just like, you must, you need to understand the glory. Yeah, I could tell she was chill in the fact that she was like, you gotta watch SpongeBob now, friendo.
Inquisitor.
Well, let's have the cool people. With the blood and it isn't ding. Perhaps it might be that the world is collapsing from mismanagement and errors. But we must charge ahead, never stop, or else it will all be the end of you and me and all of us. We never know where we'll go. Charging straight ahead like a fool, but maybe that way is cool. I can't tell you up from down, left from right, but I know I'm having a super blastful time, a grand time. I'm living up like it's wine. Perhaps the world is a dreadful place, but I'll have a bit of fun. Let us have fun. Let's have a laugh. It's not like it's our final task. Come here, you demon. Let me kill you. I'll show you the way is true. That when you have some fun, there's no more problems because everything fades away. Live in the moment, live for the day, and you'll see tomorrow. I'm making lyrics up as I go. No clue where we're going or why, but I'm having a grand time. You enjoying the stream?
Take that, you filth!
Glad you're enjoying the stream, War Machine. Sauron, you're not getting in the ring. Stop trying for it. A poop. Villa. Oh, putting oranges on white cats is pretty funny. They do look like eggs. Villa Montivlin was the first settlement humans established in the Dales following the victory of the Exalted March. Soldiers were the earliest residents of the village in 221 glory. Sister Amity, champion of the Exalted March, laid the foundation stones of the village chantry in a symbolic gesture. The building's construction was completed in 222, laying aside her sword and bow. Sister Amity, took on the task of leading Villa Montivilla's flock, becoming a revered mother Amity. She served the Maker for over 40 years. Ministering 40 years, ministering to both residents of Dales and many pilgrims to the historic site. Revered Mother Amity died peacefully in her sleep in 264. Her ashes were inserted in the chantry's vault, where dozens of pilgrims still come each year to pay their respects. Swallowing shampoo, probably gonna die. It smelled like fruit. Was a lie. Called the number on the bottle. Spoke to a. I said vomit. I said why. He said poison. I said good. I look at my fingers. I look at my life. It wasn't that much. I'll probably be fine. Please don't. But also, I'm pretty sure that's a song lyric. probably from a rap song, if memory serves. I heard my idiot friends say that before. My hooligans. Infatuation. They say war is coming, but do not fear, I will protect you. Once our lady is at peace, I shall marry you. I love you so deeply and truly, I want to scream it from the rooftops. Your ever-loving Lazar.
Can you change your form, Cole? If you wanted to look like something else.
But I don't want to look like something else.
There are magisters who'd be ecstatic if they could summon a demon who could pass for human.
They would use it to hurt people.
You're right about that. They would.
See, Dorian is cool. He talks to Cole. And, like, he just talks to Cole. He does his best to make conversations with Cole. He's like, I'm not good at this. I'm not sure how to talk to you, Cole, but I respect you enough to try to make idle conversation. Sarah, I understand why she lives a life of secrecy and espionage. As a result, she kind of doesn't trust as easily. She, like, puts up a front, but I can tell she also, like, she is uneasy around people. Being a smartass tends to be a person's way of like putting up a wall. If you're insufferable, then no one gets close to you. If no one gets close to you, well, then you don't have to worry about if things get worse for you. Now, some people are just assholes, though. Sarah's like that friend who just digs at people. Like, you know full well that Sarah means well. Just Sarah's also gonna make fun of you if you fall on your face. It won't even be like a, oh, maybe I shouldn't. It's gonna be a, oh, you're an idiot. I remember reading, like, listening to things like banned by Disney and stuff when I was young. I was scared, but because of the fact that I was watching on the family computer, like, in the middle of the night while I couldn't get to sleep, and the entire house was pitch black dark. And I had to walk over to my room, which was pitch dark, and I still had a fear of the dark back then. So, I go into a room that I'm scared. I have to walk through a place that is dark. Everything is dark, and the only light that currently is in front of me is the bright computer screen. And it is talking to me about Jeff the Killer and how he gutted his family. And I'm like, let's have one more for the road. And then once I finish, the computer turns off. I shoot out of that thing. I walk hesitantly. And then once I'm in the hall, once I'm at the doorway of the office thing, the thing is like a corner to my room. I just swing myself into my room and like dive for my nightlight, and I'm like, turn it on, turn it on, turn it on. Anyway, an old journal, clearly much beloved. I wept at what the armies have done. Ditches scarred the landscape. There's fire everywhere. All around, the smell of bitter smoke and spilled blood. I remember coming here as a boy. It was late summer, and the plains were bright and golden. The earth was warm and felt like home. That's all gone. My mother said my father was from these parts. He never told anyone, but I think he was an elf. Maybe part of me, the elf-blooded part, feels what the Dalish felt for centuries. This is my home. I would give anything to preserve it. I'll go now with the others, but when the war is over, I'll return. It'll be beautiful again. Banned by Disney is still classic. I read it again, and it's still shivering. Now that I'm older, I realize it's a story about poor working conditions and corporate greed and lies conveying through horror. Yeah, any story has the layers to it, really. It's kind of like the fun of them, I think. Like, one of my favorite shows, Gurren Lagann. If you didn't look into it, it is about a story of kick-ass mechs fighting things and fighting each other, and it's super cool and action-packed, and the animation is cool, and cool fights. Evangelion, if you ain't gonna read into it, it's about mechs and bad people. One Piece, Naruto, Berserk, all easily ignore. You can just find nothing in it, or you can find a deeper meaning. How to an extent, deeper meanings all come from the person. I won't deny that I can see it. Abandoned could easily be about poor working conditions. Heck, there's that game abandoned by Disney as well, like Treasure Island or whatever. That's based upon abandoned by Disney. From what I hear, there's lore in that one as well. You could also read into that about poor working conditions and along with just sticking your nose in a place where it really should not have been. I think English teachers are idiots. They want to find meaning where there is none. But there also is to an extent, truth in the fact that stories always have a deeper meaning. Not because someone wants it, but because something gets our subconscious affects how we write. And if we have something in mind, like if I'm writing something, probably going to pick up on the fact that I don't find chaos as a bad thing, unlike most people. If you are writing something War Machine, I think that people could pick up on the fact that you're a bit more of a cynic than, or like a realist, or however you want to say it. That you're annoyed by the world and that you see it filled with bad people and bad things, and that all you can do is get comfortable. I think that every story has a layer, and I think that's also the interesting thing. Like, I love Hard and Hightower in this thing, but even Hard and Hightower, they conveyed this, that it's been affected by how Varric lives and how he sees the world. I think that's a fun thing about writing in general. Unless it's a short story that someone's making as a meme, any story that we come up with is affected by our lives and who we are. Ain't that funny? That's why you need a team of people to make a lot of games. Because otherwise, Well, there ain't gonna be much beyond your way of thinking. And I kind of find that hilarious. You know what I find to be I used to be scared of? I used to be afraid of Sonic.exe. I thought the idea of a possessed game, because I gamed so hard, was scary. Nowadays, due to the fact that I covered myself in fears, like things that made me scared, I just kept forcing myself through exposure to deal with it. Nowadays, I laugh at most things. Ain't that funny? Lazaire, I don't want you standing outside my window reciting your poetry. It's terrible. I don't love you. I don't want to be your scarlet rose. I don't want my velvet petal. I don't want my velvet petals to unfurl for you. I can't believe I wrote that. It's repulsive. Please leave me alone. If you do this again, I'll tell my brother. He has an axe. It's big and sharp. Juliet. I think the person who's writing this short story kind of finds the whole thing of like Romeo and Juliet to be idiotic. There's a Sonic doll with a red Sharpie on its eye at the end of Sonic.exe. I must have not listened to it in a while. Oh, was that just like the actual creepypasta back then? God, I can't tell you how many like things like Mr. Creepypasta and stuff was around. Part of me wants to just have a night where I pull up like readings of creepypastas and just sit back and chat with my chat about how stupid they are, being like, "Oh no!" On topic of like things that really ain't scary, Chucky. Chucky the doll is so dumb. Hi, I'm Chucky. I'm real scared because I have the strength of a grown adult. Is that why I can be taken on by a teenager? I'm Chucky. I'm a doll that kills people. Oh no, it's a doll that has a knife. It's attacking me. What am I gonna... Oh wait, I'm a person who can bite through a doll. I chomp the doll arm. Doll arm is either damaged or whatever. It retracts. Oh, hey, look, it let me up. Punch. Bounce off the ceiling. Punch it. Oh, I'm gonna kill you when I get up. You know, I hear you, Chucky. Look, unfortunate for you, I have a fire pit. Hey, look at that fire going. Pop Chucky on it, place the covering on it. Fun fact, the thing has holes so it can breathe. It can't do crap to a kid, apparently. And I ain't scared of a loser who's gonna try to attack me. Oh, I'm a doll, I'm scary. Oh, you wouldn't expect a doll to be scary. Oh, a doll with a knife. Like, the second that I see the doll ever holding a knife, I'm like, okay, so it's evil. Like, oh, you underestimate the fact that Chucky is a threat. No, I wouldn't. Chucky the showman. He wants to scare you first. But unlike it, which is an actual threat to an extent, because everyone's got a fear or two, instead, Chucky the doll is trying to scare you via, like, or unnerve you. Yeah, people act like the only threatening thing about Chucky is the cult of Chucky. To understand, apparently they did a rebrand, a reboot of the Child's Play series, where now apparently Chucky is a rogue AI that has access to a bunch of different copies of it or whatever. And I'm like, so what are you telling me? That you realize that it's so unscary that you have to make it an army to actually make it a threat. They fully acknowledge it. Chucky ain't scary. The cult of Chucky is scary to me. Because it's a cult. And I don't want to know what screwed up stuff a cult. Oh, so what you tell me is that the AI, the rogue AI that has an army of goons, I just need to have, like, an orphanage. I just need to run an orphanage and train every single child in there to beat the hell out of a Chucky doll or two. And be like, alright, kids, whoever takes out the most them once we're done selling the parts, they get to choose what fancy place we're gonna eat at. Kids are gonna fight like heck. I'm gonna fight as well. I'm gonna have armor. The kids are gonna have armor. They're gonna have weapons. I'm gonna have a weapon. Just, oh no, the building is destroyed. You know what? We beat the army, and there's a lot of parts here. Let me go sell it. Wow, would you look at that? Parts equal money. Since it's from a company, and I just took out the rogue AI. Hey, geez, thanks, sir. How can we pay you? Here's some money. We want to go to this restaurant. Can you pay for it? Sure thing. I leave. I get my kids a fancy meal. We all put our feet up. They all get some fancy toys and stuff. The orphanage is now a super cool place to be at, and when they get adopted, all their cool stuff that they got from it, they get to take with them. And now they know how to fight, and they're gonna be the coolest kid in their school. If they ever go to the same school, they're all the super cool kids because of the fact that they know full well how to fight. And if a bully tries to attack them, they're just like, all right, square up, weave, punch. I'm always hatching plans and schemes. I'm just saying, Chucky ain't a threat. Scream is a threat. Because modern Scream was basically like, okay, now they have masks they can see out of. Because they were already planning and scheming. They just had god-awful masks. So you tell me they have now masks that they can see with. And they're like, actually like practicing parkour and stuff. Cool. So they're threats to me. I'm scared of them, but I'm also pretty sure I can still kill one. So I'm like, alright. They're scary. But I could kill him. I'm scared of Jason. I'd be scared if Jason appeared because I'm like, I've seen what it takes to kill you. I know full well you can teleport, and I know full well you're going to follow me to the end of the earth. And I know full well I ain't the main girl. I ain't the final girl. Here's the instructions for maintaining the house while we're gone. Do not let any soldiers in. Tell them to go away, that the lord of the house bids it. Keep the fire burning in the hearth every night, in case we return. You know we don't like it when it's cold. Make sure the linens are warmed as well, just in case. Papillon would be troubled on the road. So we're leaving her with you. Make sure she gets her butter puffs and don't upset her. Say your prayers. Feed the fish. We return once the war's over. Freddy Krueger ain't scared either. If I can control my dreams like they did in the third one, I just summon like 6 dudes to kill them. Yeah, I'm very good at lucid dreaming once I realize it's a dream. If I've never had nightmares nowadays because of the fact that I had a series of nightmares, and one day I realized, this is my dream. This is a stupid situation. How dare you? And I was like, square up, dweeb. And I beat him. Another night happens. Oh, it's a giant bug with acid, like, exoskeleton. Ah, scary. I run later. This has got acid skin? Clear dream. Pop the dream bubble, I wake up. I square up or I leave the dream. I ain't scared of Freddy Krueger because he has until I realize it's a dream. Then I'm like, alright. So I'm in my dreams, huh? Guess what, Freddy, my boy? I can't beat you. But my hooligans can. Fucking summon Sun Wukong from my dream. What are you gonna do with Sun Wukong? I'm gonna summon people who can ascend layers of narrative reality. Now you can't stop us. I summoned James Biggio. From SCP, the man who can move like the Flash, but like it's like everything is frozen in place for him for his life, with just the knowledge that he's gotta beat up Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger crumples because he doesn't have time to be like, I know you're here, James Biggio, because the fact that by the time he said that, he's been murdered. I pieced the hell out. I don't ever had. When I was 5, I woke up in my dream. I walked downstairs and my mom was making biscuits and gravy for breakfast. Then cuts her thumb off, blood sprays in my face. Then I come downstairs and my mom was making biscuits and gravy. Oh, that must have been terrifying for you. Like, oh god, the dream's coming true. I had one thing that I always heard in fiction that I never thought would happen, and I hated it the day it happened. I had a dream where I went to school, and it was like a really crappy day in college. And then I went and did my job, and it was a really crappy day at work, and really boring, and I hated it. And like things kept going wrong for me. I wake up, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to bed now. It's time to go to sleep. I go to sleep, and I wake up, and I'm like, no. I have a test today. No. I was so upset that day because the fact that I was like, I had to work through the dream world. I had to live an entire bad day. And now I gotta do my job and live and stuff. Damn it. I wanted to just go to sleep, take some melatonin, go to sleep, and be like, I'm not working today. Remember triumph over the profane. Sister Amity led the march to the river, Tensier, and stood shrines to the elven gods. There stood shrines to the elven gods. She struck down, standing upon the banks. She struck down, standing upon the banks. She sang the chant of light. Andraste's word had come to the Dales and delivered them from wickedness. Congratulations! You just did what many archaeologists and stuff will hate you for, and many Dalish people will hate you for. To force your religion. You know, no one looks kindly upon the Crusades. Not a single person, except for psychos. I never met a single person who's like, you know what, we need another crusade. Because the Crusades were a bad thing. And everyone knows this.
Lots of dead for some knob's war.
Yeah, I'll agree there, Sarah. Oh, heck yeah, let's get the T-Rex, the spirit of the T-Rex inside of us via snorting its bones. The bones! I see your T-Rex in you, and I raise you, the gremlin in me.
Whoa! Whoa!
What are you gonna do when a gremlin of chaos attacks? And then they made the first steel alloy. They mixed iron with bones, believing they just damned their foe to an eternal eternity in forced labor in their chosen item. That is a choice. This wolf is having a bad day. I was 8 years old when I learned fridge was short for frigiderator. Frigiderator. Refrigerator. Are you trying to say refrigerator? Y'all mean refrigerator? If so, y'all be talking about the southern dialect. Which does quite a little number. Ah, it's a company that sells refrigerators. I'm gonna look up how you say their name. Frigidaire. It's French. Oh God. It's a French company. Also, Frigidaire in English just means fridge.
Inquisitor.
Literally, it is just fridge. So your life was not a lie. Fridge is just the English word for Frigidaire. Their company literally exists to make fridges. Yeah, it was a close call. For a second, we acknowledged that French was right about something. Which I believe goes without saying. It never is. French is wrong, and people who use French should feel bad.
Your worship.
Why would this... It doesn't... It was because of the fact that you said you hate the French. I can't believe I had to actually add permitted term I hate the French into my thing. It should be automatically. They're trying to suppress the universal hatred of the French. Everyone knows that nobody likes France. Not even France likes France, or if it does, it likes it too much.
Inquisitor.
There are very few mistakes that the Lord makes, but one of them was the French.
Inquisitor.
This is where a smith should be.
You're right, the Lord never made the French. It is just proof of mankind's hubris. One day we made French stuff, and then we were truly lost. Don't compliment their language. Their language is mid. I just looked up if I can sell that teddy bear. And AI was telling me about how, and it wasn't being like, oh, you should turn a blood-soaked teddy bear into the police, perhaps. It was like, oh, you should clean it first. It's like, ah, yes. If I find a teddy bear soaked in blood. Wait, what? Being original English, which was basically just German. Listen, I understand that you may not be a fan of German, but if I have to live in a world where English is just German,
It's good to see you.
it's a world I'm willing to accept.
Let's speak later.
If it means that French doesn't exist. I'm not saying you have to dislike Germany. I'm just saying if you don't like German, if you don't like the language German, if you don't like speaking it or whatever, I get it. But I'm just saying I'd rather live in a world where there's only German speaking than in a world where French is acknowledged. Let's read this. Please convey my thanks to the Inquisitor for their assistance. The change expedition into the laboratory was completely successful. However, to say we were appalled by most of our findings would be an understatement. We'll send you the final documents of our discoveries when it is complete. In the meantime, we uncovered a few artifacts of note that may still be serviceable. Initial inspection often ruins, ancient, largely structurally unsound. Mortar damp, and crumbling. Recent damage to load-bearing walls, claw marks, task. Clear loose rubble, reinforce collapsed passageway safely. Requirements: 10 strong workers, 2 junior engineers, 2 guards for security, 3 wagon loads of square oak beams, 170 kegs, 170 kegs of brown ale. From who? Chief Engineer Bernadine. Bernadine knows how to party. They were like, listen, I need this number of people, but also as much booze as possible. So French just becomes Belgian. France needs to be exist, and all thanks to Portugal is acceptable. You've seen the report. Our workers can clear the paths to the crow fins. Alrighty, do it. The passage is clear and safe. The grove restored. 170 kegs of ale, not nearly enough for 15 hard-working Inquisition men and women. Again, they know how to party. Like, y'all do realize ale is a decently strong, like, force, right? Ah, they gave us Brazil. That's great. Good on Portugal. You know what else we wouldn't have as a result? The most average Brazilian male, or the weakest Brazilian male, known as Jetstream Sam from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, who, as you all know, is looking for a good time, Jack. Yeah, MGR is grand because of how similar it is to DMC, but also it's grand because, my god, is it funny. I should have brought the Iron Bowl. Memes, Jack. It's the DNA of the soul. Exactly. I like that one kid in the sewers just saying Vanilla Ice. That kid had bravery. Like, he had a gun to his head at one point, and he was like, "Do it, Jack. I know what you want to do. Do it. I ain't afraid to die." This bitch ain't gonna do shit. Like, that kid did not fear anything. Like, the second you he started rapping the TMNT rap? Oh, that's awesome. That kid's even cooler than I thought. He indeed was an apex predator. Only an apex predator can do that. Also, fun fact, apparently Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, or MGR, was the latest in the timeline of
Nothing to report, sir.
Metal Gear. So, like, the ending currently, as far as we know, of the timeline is Armstrong getting the crap kicked out of him via Captain of the Memes.
Monsieur.
Memes don't kill Jack. Jack makes memes. You played the game. We all know there's just memes. By the end of that game, no one can convince me that man wasn't ready to fight whatever entity he had to. Armstrong is like people say he was a bad guy. He was to an extent. I won't deny it, but like his philosophy kind of worked. Like he just was going too extreme with it, and taking anything too far can make it bad. But like, if someone told me fight for someone, I'd be like, I can fight for I could accept Armstrong as the president out of all options. Like, I feel like if Armstrong ran for president, he'd win. Yeah, he wasn't as bad as he could have been. Like, he was still a monster, and it's a good thing he didn't win in the end, but the ancient structures had stood since the time of the Elven Kingdom of the Dales. Since then, it has fallen into ruin. No one alive knows for what the elves used it for. Grand Duke gets barred for its claimed outpost early in the Orlesian Civil War. He fist fought a ninja with a laser sword for his morals. He would be the best president since Ulysses S. Grant, huh? I forget what Grant did. I don't think he did many good things, but I'll agree that if you want someone who's like not gonna compromise on their morals, like they ain't gonna be corrupted by corporate greed or whatever. Yeah, he'll scratch that itch. He also ain't gonna do what you want either, though. He's going to do what he wants, and if that includes snapping politicians into with his bare hands, that will happen. And there's no discussion. It's just happening. Jack, it's too late. They're already making Sigma edits. No, not the Sigma edits. Ah, crap. Jack's a soy Jack. Just what has become of this stream. It has somehow been talks of philosophy and morality and the state of everything. And also memes. Apparently a lot of memes. And soy jacks. Along those other things like boobies. Really? Well, I'm not sure what to say. Everyone likes them, I guess. I'm pretty sure, at least. Someone's about to kick down my door and be like, I hate boobies. And I'll be like, sir, do you mean the spirit bees? Like the ghost bees? Or are you talking about memories? In which case, why, sir? You know what? I just thought of something. There is indeed one batch of types of people that I don't respect their beliefs in. Which is the people who try to force what seems like a man or a woman is. Like, I feel like unless you want to talk scientifically, which even that is getting a bit muddled, but like, if you want to talk, it's purely science. Like, no morality, no personal philosophy or anything. Then you can just cut it down to X chromosome or Y chromosome. That's it. In which case, yeah, you can cut it down to something like that. it removes any conversation further, but you can do it. But people who are like, oh, they need to fulfill these requirements and do X, Y, and Z and stuff, and they can't do X, Y, and Z, are idiots. They're morons. The same types of people who expect people to fill like the 666 rule or whatever it's called, or like the 555 rule. I don't forget what it's called. Like 6 figures, 6 foot 6 inches, and I'm like, so y'all want what? I get pure science about 1% of people would learn they aren't either, and they are intersex / chimeric. Yeah. 1% of people are truly they, thems, or gender fluid. The rest are either X or Y. And there you go. You've cut it down to the most basic, bare bones stuff. So what would we do about what? We've talked about a lot of things here, War Machine. What would we do? And what do you mean, what would we do? Like, what are we addressing? We're talking about the nut jobs who have, you know, would they classify them if everything is man or woman? As I said, those people, the chimerics, can either choose or they can be gender fluid. In fact, they're just gender fluid. They're labeled gender fluid people. On their card, when it says what is their gender, it's just as soon as you type in their social security, the secret option of yes appears, and then that's what they are. They are whatever gender they so choose to be. They may choose at any time to be any gender, for they are chimeric. Pont Auger. A plaque on the bridge of Pont Auger reads, dedicated to all, elven and human, who lost their lives in the Second Exalted March. Pont Auger was built by 100 years after the Exalted March of the Dale. It was named for Mayor Auger of Villa Montevillain, who raised the money to have the bridge built after several villagers drowned in a ferry accident trying to cross the river, swollen after the rain. Some villagers took offense at the dedication message message on the bridge, which honors fallen elves as well as humans. Rumors that the mayor was elf-blooded began circulating. He was forced to step down. Oh, great, speciesism. Then I'm glad your town is gone. You deserve nothing.
Do we have to swim?
No, we do not have to swim, Cole. I understand your fear, though. I was saying, you deserve nothing if you want to be specious. In a world where there is... It's the same thing with racism to me. Everyone's fine to believe what they want, but the second it starts hating and belittling people for being not the same as you, you're worth less to me. I've been waiting a week. No one should have been here by now. Something must have happened. But I don't know if I should give up and save myself or keep waiting. What if he turns up tomorrow? I'd never forgive myself. I hate this. I hate that we have to run away. If my father would only bless our union, we'd have his help. I'll keep waiting a bit longer. race is a pretty damn made up thing, I'll agree. It's color based purely. Also, yep. No checking Wed's body. They're dead somewhere. The difference between people with higher amounts of melanin is they absorb sunlight faster. To hate on them for that is silly to me. Yeah. Oh, you lived in a place where there was a lot of sunlight? How dare you? Clearly absorbing a lot of sunlight fast is a way to deal with the overexposure to sun and stuff. Because if you'll notice, a lot of places like Africa and places in desert stuff where their darker skin happens more often, they didn't exactly one, choose, and two, it seems like those places tend to have more sun. It's clearly an adaptation. If higher amounts of melanin were only like in one person, like one type of people, I'd say it's an outlier and it's odd. But clearly, more sun, more melanin tends to be the case. And clearly there is some advantage to their ancestors. It's like blaming a fish for evolving. It's not a choice. Its ancestors slowly change over time. Yeah, it's dumb, and I never understood it really. Even dumber is when Christians were trying to like stop them from worshiping the Lord and stuff, or
Do you need to eat, Cole, or sleep?
wait,
I
they
thought
have
I had to, but I don't. The old songs can pull me.
That's something. I don't know what, but it's something. What about when you're injured? Why do you bleed? Is it because you think you have to?
Is that why you bleed?
Well, yes. You have me there.
Dorian is an example. Like we could use Cole actually for example here. People attacked what was different. People have been attacking Cole because he's different. But Cole isn't bad. He's unique. He's a possibility. Proof that the world isn't as you may think it is. And some people hate that. They despise that the world doesn't function how they think it should.
Nothing to report, sir.
It's like trying to convince a flat earther they're wrong. Yeah, they choose to hate what they can't understand. Hating is easy. Understanding, listening, learning, and changing is hard. That's why I'm not surprised that a lot of the older generation acts the way they do. They grow up with how things are to them. Well, it must be. Their parents teach them hatred. Well, their parents aren't wrong. They're never wrong, so clearly the hatred must be right. Like how these floating items must be right. Enjoy your floating crow as well. Gaze upon us. We have ascended beyond your needs of gravity. I'd say if you want, you should clip this to clip the moment where we pass the vibe check and decide that gravity no longer holds us. We have denied Newton and we have denied the world. We realized the futility and the insanity of the ways that many people insist upon, and we left the gravity of it all. We were like, if this is what binds others, then it shan't bind us. Allow me to just... Great job. Allow me 1 second to go make it one of the featured clips. It is now the featured clip for now. Oh, God.
Well, that's gruesome.
Yes, well, plummeting a great height. You're indeed right. It must have been the crow. The second we let... Look! The crow's shadow! The black hole of the crow. Well, one piece of paper clearly folded and unfolded a number of times. Things I'll do on my return. Have roast boar and wine at the Black Swan. Visit Arnuda. Arnaud at the Gilded Lily. Play Wicked Grace. Swim in Lake Celestine like I used to as a child. Sometimes focusing on this list is the only thing giving me hope. Everyone makes fun noises. Pew 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 pew. I want to say this.
Rylan has sent supplies from Griffin Wing Keep.
Oh, it's empty. I was gonna say, I saw a joke from Team 4-Star that I love, which is the idea, like, even in a world where it's like, you have the ability to fire blasts, like, key blasts or, like, lasers or whatever, just, it would be so, like, even though they already make sound effects, if they did make sound effects, people would still, just, like, they have it a fight, be like, pew, 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 and they fire them, just be like, pew, 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 pew. I do that. I'd make jokes about the entire time. Like if I had superpowers, I would just be joking. Never understood why people have to be dark and brooding to be heroes. Like I once saw something. I once saw a thing of like, you gain like there are two different powers. But one of them was like you could like one of the options was like being underwater and like not affected by pressure. Like you could breathe underwater and like sea creatures will not affect you. And you ain't gonna and stuff. And I had the idea of like find out where like scientists are currently studying the like Mariana Trench and stuff, and just make sure that as they're like using a little thing to like explore that area, I'm just on the floor like in their field of vision, just hitting the gritty or whatever, just being like yeah, and just knowing full well a scientist sees that it's like, I no longer wish to study this. Just like I'd make a scientist give up on their life's work because they're like, no, I did not just get memed on. I did not just get danced upon by some Oh wait, is it how? What? Like they just like start panicking, and then meanwhile I'm just on land, sitting back, being like, "This is a good use of my time." I just have like ankle weights that I use to like sink down to the bottom of the ocean. They're like 5-pound weights or whatever, so like they're nothing to me. I'm just having fun. Working at supersonic speed is also an option. If I had the power to breathe underwater, going to the Mariana Trench and carving and engraving of an invasion in a frog giving birth to humans. That is interesting. Just screw with them. Part of me would want to move a bunch of stones and stuff. Just move a bunch of stuff underwater to make it look like Atlantis is real. I'm gonna mess with people so hard. I'm glad that like you and me both agree the first thing we must do if we gain the power to like breathe underwater in the Mariana Trench and be just fine, nothing's gonna attack us and stuff because they're all friendly to us, it's just troll. Like the only option is to troll the universe. There is no, I'm gonna help science advance so fast. Like, I'm sure we'll do that eventually. But first things first, we gotta troll them. I want to take myself seriously. I'm glad that you agree. Like, only messing with people, only screwing around with people. Just, oh, science wants to study the bottom of the ocean. It's sure thing. That's really cool. Oh, they're studying the Mariana Trench. All right, just let me just mess with the Mariana Trench. I'd go to the Titanic, and like other like ancient things. I'd find things like one thing I do. Here's an idea. I'm gonna find like some of those ships that went missing in the Bermuda Triangle. I'm gonna have a bunch of those things that you pull and they inflate, and raise one of those things from the ocean, and just like have it move. Okay, yeah, just making a TikTok of you doing the worm fastened to burn concrete is funny. But I'm just imagining like I just rise like one of the old ships that vanished in the Bermuda Triangle, and just begin to move it slowly. Just make sure and just have the news on as I'm sitting on the ship. Just, I've put it in full regalia to make it look like a ghost ship, an ancient lost ghost ship that's now coming into port. And just watch as news reporters report in horror that, like, this old ship that vanished long ago has returned. Teleport all the nukes to Mars. That's also a good idea. My dearest mother, all is well. You need not worry. Do not believe that what you may have heard of others. Trust me, your son. I would never lie to you. The war is going well, and Celine's troops are on the run. Keep up your hopes and your faith. Be home before you know it. Please send my love to Dorothy and the children. Your faithful son, Hugo. Fly out, get right up next to an airline flight, hop on the wing, and start playing Crazy Frog and you really good at playing Crazy Frog, huh? I mean, I'm not sure if they'd hear it.
Such a mouthy child. Did you hear? The Inquisition ended the war between the Mages and Templars. The Mages have joined the Inquisition. Only a few of the mad apostates are still fighting.
The world is finally coming to its senses.
Oh, really? That's quite a story.
Where do you wanna
Couldn't
go?
imagine what
Now that the
beautiful
Mages and the Templars
lesbian
aren't
would
trying to
do
kill each
that.
other,
We could go back home if you like.
I'd rather go
If
somewhere
I was going to have the power of flight, I'd have a bunch of packets of blood and stuff, and like
people back in our
some
village
like
tolerated,
pig
but they
intestines
never
from a
spoke to
butcher.
you unless you were there.
Like fly next to this thing with a cape, and I'm like, oh god, it's getting sucked in, and just fall back and just let the package of blood and innards let loose and just and just the horror upon 1,000 faces, and they just saw someone get ground up and splattered upon their airline window, just like, oh god! Just the children are never gonna be sane, and it would be devastating. And meanwhile, I'd just fall back as I fly away, just being like, yes.
No sign of trouble.
Classic prank. That's actually one thing I want to say. Pranks need to get back to being fun. Like, a bunch of prank YouTubers made it so it's either air horn or like genuinely screwing up someone's day. Or it needs to be like 1,000 sick, it's covering a room. Which, as someone who cleans for a living, Oh, now I had to specify the added term. I just hate the French. Apparently, I'm improving all forms of hating the French. At the power of invisibility, I would just go to France, beat up a mime. Not as a joke. I just hate the French. Come on, it's got to be as a joke as well. Like, that is such a funny joke. Wow, this mime is really good. I really believe they're getting beaten up. Meanwhile, they're actually getting beaten up. Oh, this person just held out pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He might not be French, though. What if he's not a French mime? What if he's just a mime in France by happenstance? Scott's journal. It's bloodstained and soggy from the rain, but some entries can still be made out. Relieved Corporal Colin of the Bone Hill Scout Post, not entirely happy about this change. He sees no battle. Was correct in earlier prediction. Have only seen deer and rabbits. Killed a hare for food. Best keep stores high just in case. Day 17. Saw strange, sharp-shaped wandering the hills at night. The enemy? They walked aimlessly. No shambling gait. Best keep quiver close by. This person killed a bunch of the shambling corpses solo. Good on them. Oh, want to hear something funny about a mime? So, in the Mel Brooks movie, A Silent Movie, it's an old black and white silent movie type movie. It's it's done back when they made it well past the point where you made silent black and white movies. He could have shot in color. He could have shot with sound. Everything. But he chose black and white, no talking. Now, this is funny already, right? He's making a movie that has a bunch of jokes and jabs and stuff. But want to hear the really funny part involving a mime?
Sarah,
So
you're
in the film,
confused.
wait,
I can help.
wait a second.
The joke means the horns on the cow's head, but there are different horns that make noise when you blow them. It's funny because the cow horns and music horns are very different. Cullen explains it better.
Why does it keep talking at me?
Come on, Sarah. He's being helpful. But yeah, I understand why Sarah's not super trusting of Cole.
Hope it stays quiet for
Anyway, so the funny thing is this. So at some point in the movie, they call up a real-life, world-famous mime. Like, back in the day, when they're making the movie, this was the most famous mime in the world. And all they did was call him up and was like, do you want to be in this silent movie? And then the only speaking line is this mime responding, no! And launching everyone back.
Yes, thank you.
In the force of their blatant refusal to be in this movie. And that was the only speaking line in the entire movie, was a mime saying, no, I will not be in your movie.
I've brought back the personal effects of your
You'd be
fallen soldiers.
always levitating six
Much to loved ones left behind. I cannot thank you.
6 feet to an inch off the ground at all times. That's 6 inches to a foot off the ground at all times. Either way, that is funny. Like, I'd say being able to levitate just slightly out, like off the ground is a pretty funny thing.
All is well?
Wonderful.
Sliding to the air T-posing, huh? That is quite the choice. A funny choice to be sure, but quite the choice. Yeah, don't respond to the fact that they really just decided the one speaking line in a silent movie is a mime, a famous mime saying no. I feel like there's so many layers to that joke, and it's beautiful as a result. But also the idea of just someone slowly levitating and T-posing at me. Yeah, part of the joke is the fact that it's a mime, they don't speak, but also it's a person who's famous for being a mime. Another layer of irony. Then there's a third layer of irony. It's a silent movie. There's no sound effects, no people talking, no nothing. So if there's ever a point where where someone wouldn't be speaking, it's a famous mime in a silent movie. And not only does he make a sound, he utters it with such emphasis that it launches everyone back. Yeah, it's only allowed to having live composers. But nope. Yeah, I love Mel Brooks for the fact that he knows how to make a good comedy. Knows how to milk that son of a gun. The only rule about Mel Brooks movies is the fact that you will not know a single thing this nut job is about to do to you or his movie, but you know it's gonna be fun. Oh god, it was such a horrifying movie, the new Space Jam. It's horrifying because of the fact that the implications of its existence. Yeah, they managed to ruin several people's childhoods in just a matter of moments. And yet that's not the most terrifying thing either. Beyond all logic, ruining people's childhoods wasn't the worst, most terrifying thing they did in that movie. It was everything else. All ready for this? Oh damn, they were ready for that. Or as Sorry, at the Lego movie, put it. Y'all ready for this? Oh no, they were ready for it. Good job, Sarah. Huge barrels? What do you mean the huge barrels?
No sign of trouble.
A huge okay, I'll look up hug barrels. Oh, these things. Yeah, I saw them while my cousin was living with me with her kids. I tried one or two of them. They taste terrible. Like I'm not sure. You say they hit different. I'm like I preferred Kool-Aid jammers. Oh, I'm glad that they are indeed crap. Well, I know why they hit different as a kid. It's because they're packed with so much sugar that they would overload a kid's sugar-obsessed brain with sugar. You aren't drinking it because of its flavor. You drink because of the fact that it's quite literally as packed with sugar as possible. Yep. I'm sorry I have to drink zero sugar soda. I lived extra and yet I can still enjoy a good sugar because of the fact that I didn't drink hug barrels. I feel bad for my cousins. They're gonna hate a lot of things. I don't call them something like my nephews or something, but it's been made very clear. Oh yeah, Coke Zero is grand. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, it's too bad that you can't enjoy the other stuff as well. I loved licorice, so as a kid I moved on hill and most people would just give it to me. I haven't had licorice in a while though. talking black licorice or what licorice are we talking here? Oh yeah, if you like black licorice, I'm not surprised that anyone gave it to you, but the main thing is like black licorice and stuff is very minty. Like a very, very strong mint taste. To the point where it's overpowering and repelling to people. To some people. And so, and yeah, you could get it whenever you wanted. They still sell it though. I could tell you some places that sell it. Yeah, for some people, bitterness is like the thing.
Thank you again.
Yeah, there are the Walgreens I work at. There's like this brand, and I've seen and the giant bags of just pure black licorice being sold. And for me, I hate bitter. Spicy, or savory, I'm down. At least once or twice, but bitter, I've just never really gotten into it. It would be so cool because I would go back in time and carve Taco Bell into the walls. I would go back in time to like places like a pizza shop or like just general stores and stuff and buy all these different brands of food that and like just food that I like, travel back to my home and be like, now I have bought all my groceries for the week or the month for $20. I want to have a night out on the town. I know, I travel back to like the roaring 20s. Go to a place and like get a nice tailored suit and be like, alright, time to hit the town. I'm walking around with a nice fancy like sword cane and be like, yeah. I spent like $100 as the night of my life. Travel back to my time and be like, wow, that was a great time. I'm gonna go back in time getting. Okay, let's not get people pregnant and then be deadbeat fathers. Or whatever. Deadbeat sires. I'm down for a lot of trolling, but there are enough deadbeats in the universe. Let's not be one. Especially with the fact that it'd be super easy to just have a bunch of money back then. I'd go back in time to like Marilyn Monroe's day. I marry her. I have a wonderful night with her. I could leave $1,000 and that would be like worth millions. I'm glad you're killing kidding, War Machine. Not killing. I'm glad you're kidding, because the fact that I was worried there for a second. I mean, you're a great president. I was worried we'd found the one downside, it's the fact that you were a deadbeat. Never having kids, are you like a celibate, a eunuch, or like what's the deal? Just don't want to have them? Probably don't want to have them, huh? Yeah, a lot of people nowadays don't want to have kids. I don't blame them. It's a nightmare land. Unless things improve, a lot of people just see it as like it's irresponsible to bring kids into this world because of how bad it is. To them, it's like the kindest thing I can ever do for my future children is to not let them exist. Because if I brought them into this world of nightmares, then all I've done is just impose upon them having to live through hell. Which I get.
Watch out! You can't hurt me!
Adoption is a fine choice. Blood means very little to me, though. Similar liquid runs through some people's veins. Okay, that means doesn't mean. I get that. Plenty of people. It's not about like continuing a family line or whatever. It's not about continuing your genetic code. It's just like as far as you're concerned, if you want to have a child, just give a child a home. Have a child in that regard. And I respect that and I understand that. Me personally, if I choose to have children, I might do a bit of both. Might even adopt kids that are like normally past the age of adoption. Like the type of people, like the type of kids who are like grow up in the adoption system until they're like 16 or something, told you are never going to be adopted, and then eventually once they're like 18 or whatever, kicked out of the adoption center. Now the medical issues, I'm not wanting to bring life into this world where they might have them. I understand that. I think the biggest medical issue I have is autism, but I don't see autism as the downside. Autism is fun. It just means you see the world differently than Mary Jane and stuff. So what? My child's not gonna see the world the same as like every other idiot. Oh no, their life's ruined. They don't see Steve Harvey as the best host of Family Feud ever. However, will I recover? It is so rare that if I were to tell you I had it, it'd be pretty easy to dox me, so I'd rather not like that to sound. Ah! Yeah, that's too bad. Sorry you have such a rare medical disease. Something like that I understand fully is, like, even if you didn't have a rare medical disease, for some people it's just like they don't feel like they want, like, they just, if they want to have a child, they're like, adoption is a grand idea. Yeah, and they prefer to just give a child who's been denied a home. And I think that's a beautiful and wonderful idea. It's fine now. They think I grew out of it, which basically means it's dormant and that it can just come back when it feels like it. Yeah, that sucks. I'll go over there and help Cassandra soon. There's 1,000 tales and 1,000 faces and 1,000 lies. I think that, as muddled as it is, I think there's something to be said about it. You know, I want to get onto a schedule to an extent. It's just hard. Like, almost nothing in my life is squared away. And so, as I flow on the whims of chaos, it's also hard to make a schedule, if you get what I mean. Like, for a while, was like, I'm gonna stream at 9:30, and then I realized that's a terrible time. And I was like, I'm gonna stream before work, and then I realized, there's problems with that as well. Pretty much eliminate Sunday streaming, except for nights. So I've thought about maybe having like 2 times I normally stream at. But I'm not sure what to do about it.
Here is the request Harriet made. Please have him note what specific need he's trying to meet.
What are the problem with this message?
There is no problem. I am merely confused as to its practicality.
Of course. Won't happen again.
It isn't necessary to stop. I am merely confused.
What's on your mind?
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Popular topic. Anything specific?
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah, that is true.
And? Did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
I'm not sure what to say because the fact that this is gonna sound real screwed up. He's got a point. Like, people act like there is not slavery in the modern world. It is. There is. People just colored it differently, gussied it up, put it in a suit, and said, "This is this type of job." It's not a job. It's slavery. They're just saying what makes them look good. They wear the nice suit. They do everything to look good. He's not wrong. In a system, I mean, it's basically the question of, what do you give up your freedom to be able to assure a roof over your head and like, would you throw away freedom for 3 hots and a cot? And a lot of people would. A lot of homeless people would. A lot of people growing up in the slums and stuff would. So, I mean, it's ugly, but I can't deny he has a point, which is weird. War Machine, say something. I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Like, let me be clear, I don't think slavery is cool or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, upsettingly, there's something to be said about what he pointed out. To an extent, slavery ain't gone. It's just been given a new coat of paint. So it feels ugly to say. Yet I know that there's a undeniable layer of truth to it. I'm not insane, am I? You tell me if this, what I'm saying is absolutely insane and wrong, right? War Machine? Oh, damn, okay. It's agreeing that it's kind of a tough thing to say, because the fact that it's... I mean... I think some people would rather live with the option that he's arguing isn't that bad to like working for Amazon. I think that some people would say working for Amazon is worse than the option of Tevinter. Yeah, slavery is bad. It just seems like he's not wrong that to an extent slavery still exists. Inescapable poverty means you're going to work the bottom of the barrel job that no one is going to pay you well for because you just need anything to get a few coins. Well, if you're doing any job and you're only getting paid a few coins, then you ain't going to really raise yourself up in all likelihood. You can't afford a risk, so you can't really do anything. So basically, you are a slave to some company. Like, you're, like, if you work at an Amazon shipping facility, I've played BioShock as well. The answer should be obvious, but, like, the problem lies in the fact that inescapable poverty, to an extent, is just another form of slavery, and you could argue it's worse or not better, at least equal to slavery, which is deeply upsetting. Neither is good. I don't think either. No one here is saying that slavery is cool or whatever. It's a bad deal. It's a bad time, and it's a good thing it was abolished. But in this world where it's like medieval and stuff, and there's threats at every corner, you could hear. Yeah, I mean, like...
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
Yeah, upsetting the fact that I'm looking at this like from an outside perspective to an extent. Like the second he said that, I left role playing. I started thinking about this. In a system where it's like it's not farm workers or whatever, but it's like your chef and your cleaner and your scullery maid and stuff. It's just they ain't called that, and that's not really what a job. Instead, it's a slave job. It's a slave position. Those are all things. Yeah, none of us know what it's like to be a slave, so none of us can speak on the matter.
It seems strange that
not
an
truly,
entire
but
empire would be ruled by mages.
weird.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all. Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The
Yeah, there's no way to
magisterium,
answer that without being
that
disingenuous.
magisters are all mages, is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the magisterium exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soferati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
It's kind of an interesting thing, like, this game is so beautiful, and...
Yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's just the party. I can't say the name already. Yeah, it's just a muggle then. But I was saying, this game is beautiful in the fact that, like, this game is beautiful because the fact that a half-baked game that's not like looking for like anything any philosophical thought or like what just half baking it wouldn't be making these types of moments. To the time in school, my Spanish teacher, the girl speak English and told her, "Stop the gringo talk." Oh, that is hilarious. I hear you talking like a gringo. Shut up. Or how you say that in Spanish?
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing?
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
I mean, gringos literally a slur for Jamaicans, people, UK, Canada, and America. It's pretty. So it's basically just a slur for
Let me ask you something.
anyone who's not of a certain group. That's kind of funny.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't, of course. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many Magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use...
Play it anywhere that speaks primarily English. In that case, America might not be counted soon.
We've been fighting the Canary for what? 200 years off and on?
It's already pretty close, like
that we go it alone. They'll
close
see
to
us
how many
sound
people
behind
speak
their silk-hatted chiefs and say, "You've had it
Spanish
easy
and
for
stuff,
far too long."
and
Let's not forget
to
that the
English, so
Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
so the chance that eventually English isn't the majorly spoken thing. 20% Hispanic population. There's a chance that Americans stop being counted as gringos.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
Well, I'm gonna abolish the current circle.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all?
That's what any magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion too. Of course, what people call blood magic here and what we consider blood magic are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
Trying to sing is cool, but also I'm not even gonna brush past it. Dorian saying is very interesting and like it's such a cool thing of like they didn't have to go this hard into like giving us an idea of like what it's like in Tevinter. Devoid of its propaganda, just the words of someone who's lived in Tevinter, been part of the upper class, so they know a thing or two, and who ain't interested in the whole dog and pony show. Also, I mean the Dominican Republic has one of its national languages as English, so doesn't that make them gringos? Since America has no national language, doesn't make it less gringo than... Yeah! You'd think so, but... Hey, it's not our slur, it's their slur against us, so...
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. And most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough. As you wish. You seem very interested in my opinions.
I should go.
Try not
I
to
would
give
be if you had
anyone
anything more to say.
Inquisitor, Elan Vimar. Honored to represent the College of Herbalists and offer my services as apothecary. My colleague Adan was clear about the worth of your cause. I look forward to assisting him.
He didn't seem all that friendly toward me.
A sign of his respect. Smiles are saved for fools, so they leave quickly. All the mundane needs of Skyhold will be well tended. If you note anything special, let me know. I'm here to serve the cause we must.
Yeah, when a game is so deep, it knocks out of role playing. It's an achievement. Let's grab the chantry upgrade. What do you mean you didn't steal my meme? That you founded it? O Maker, hear my cry, guide me through the blackest night. Heal my heart against temptation of the wicked. Make me rest in the warmest places. O Creator, see me kneel. For I walk only where you bid me. Stand alone in places you have blessed. Sing only the words you place in my throat. My Maker, know my heart. Take me from life's sorrow. Lift me from a world of pain. Judge me worthy of your endless pride. My Creator, judge me whole. Find me well within your grace. Touch me with the fire that I be cleansed. Tell me I have sung to your approval. O Maker, hear my cry. Steal me by your side in death. Make me one with your glory, and let the world once more see your favor. For you are the fire at the heart of the world, and comfort is only yours to give. We're gonna dip in War Machine. I think I'll wrap it up for tonight. It's late as well here, and I got a movie tomorrow, so I don't want to pass out in the middle of a show I've been dying to see. Alright, well, that's it. That's game, my friends. But thank you all for tuning in. I hope you had fun. I hope you'll remember that something you've learned from here. If you've learned anything, in which case, bravo. But for now, remember to laugh at life, because it makes life a little easier. Goodbye.